This is a review PowerPoint of information processing theory, just in case you need a little refresher before you study or move on to a new topic. So remember, information processing theory is a cognitive learning theory that states that the learner is active. They get to choose what they want to learn, when they want to learn it. They are not just rats in a maze working for a reward or reinforcement or punishment. So information processing theory is a theory that really focuses on memory making, how people make new memories. And memories are not just those experiences that you remember, like remembering your first day of school or the first kiss you had, but also just anything new that you experience. That becomes a memory in your brain. So really you're making new memories. So how do you get that information and then store it effectively to be able to use it again? Information is no good to us if we store it and then never pull it back out. You don't want to be a pack rat of information. Information processing theory says that in order for information to be effectively taken in, those memories to be made, it has to move through three parts. First is the sensory memory or the sensory register that takes in the information. It's the first place all that information goes. Then it moves into the working memory, which is also called short-term memory, which has a small capacity and a short duration. Information there is only there to be processed. It's not there to hang out. So in order for information to become a memory, it has to be encoded or stored into long-term memory. Short-term memory becomes working memory when information is retrieved or a retrieval process occurs to bring it back into the working memory. So that happens in the same place because they have the same limitations of space and time. So how does this information move from one memory store to the other? Well, two ways it moves from the sensory register, the sensory memory, to short-term memory is through attention and recognition. So when you're thinking about your students, you want to make sure they recognize that they can understand the information and that they're paying attention to information, or else you're just talking and talking and talking. They will never remember what you say. To move information from short-term memory to long-term memory, you can use rehearsal, repeating things over and over, which is the least effective way. Organization, so your thoughts need to be organized and connected to previous knowledge, needs to be organized in the way it's presented. And elaboration, which is drawing out an idea, elaborating on a story, creating a story out of something you need to know so that it is more in-depth, more meaningful. And visual imagery is showing a visual that goes with information or creating a mental image of something that you're trying to learn so that it's easier to remember. This is also called dual encoding. So if you're showing text, you have a picture, so that is encoded as text and a picture. So you're really remembering it in two ways. So visual imagery is a way to make information more meaningful so that it gets stored more effectively and not just thrown on the pile of your filing cabinet. So to remind you, the goal for behaviorism was to see an observable change. The goal for information processing theory is to help students successfully process and encode information for future use. So successfully store information, gain information, store it, and then be able to retrieve it or use it later on.